Patitanam Pavane Vishnu-devyo Namo Namo Vishnu-padaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti-vedanta Swami Nityananda Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Prachari Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Devashatari Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaurabhakta Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Shri Guru Devataya Paramananda Madhava Shri Chaitanya Ishwara. Okay, I have my past record is I go over time, so today I will try not to do that. So beginning right away, today's topic is reciprocation in Bhakti. So I thought it was already there, right? Or is it? Isn't it stored? It was there. Okay, sorry about this. So topic is reciprocation in Bhakti. Now, if we see reciprocation in normal terms, in material terms, reciprocation means simplest words. Reciprocation is give and take. You do something nice for me, I will do something nice for you, right? And it is a gesture that is normally shown between two people. Even in, if we see normal colleagues, or even if you have neighbors, then also there is small reciprocation that keeps happening here and there. Even between own family members, within siblings, there will be some reciprocation. Okay, today you do this for me, I will do this for you. So it's give and take, not necessarily bad, but it is on a material platform. Okay, and in simplest words, you scratch my back, I scratch your back. Okay, but just like we have material reciprocation, in spiritual life also we have reciprocation. Now, we all know from Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu what are the 6 loving exchanges between devotees: giving prasadam, or taking prasadam, sharing the heart. These are all reciprocations that we have, right? So even in our spiritual lives, we long for that reciprocation. And this is between devotees. But if we go a little deeper, in our heart, we subtly want some reciprocation from the Lord. Of course, after coming to Bhakti, we do not expect, miracles or things out of the way to happen. But some reciprocation here and there, we are all expecting. Am I wrong? No? How many say that I'm right, and how many say I'm right? We are all expecting some reciprocation from the Lord. Yes? Yes. So that is true. We are expecting some reciprocation from the Lord, and it is very, very natural. But when we are expecting that tiny drops of reciprocation, sometimes, we get dejected. We feel, I'm doing bhakti for so many years, or I have been going to the temple for so many years, but there is no reciprocation. That feeling I'm not getting. Why is the Lord not listening to me? Why am I not feeling that ecstasy? Things like this happen, and they come in our heart. So to understand that and to overcome that, let us try to base our discussion today on reciprocation. But before we go forward, I wanted to say a small prayer to Shri Radha Gopijan Vallabh. If your heart desires, please repeat after me. Okay, let's all recite together. Dear Shri Radha Gopijan Vallabh, please give us the Shastra Chakshus, the eyes, to see your reciprocation in our daily lives and acknowledge your presence. Please forgive us if sometimes we slip and are not able to do so, but please never let your remembrance fade from our minds and our heart. So, with this prayer from our heart and our mind, let us try to see Krishna's reciprocation in our own lives. Krishna, he reciprocates by giving himself to us. And it is purely spiritual. When reciprocation is there between people, then it is material reciprocation. But when Krishna comes in the picture, Krishna gives himself completely to us. And that reciprocation is more in spiritual absorption than in his material protection. So, if we see, Krishna gives himself completely to us, while others reciprocate by giving things or experiences to us. But if we see in our life, has it happened to any of us that we are going through some material problems and we are asking for the Lord's protection? Is there anybody who can say that it has not happened in their lives? Maybe the children, if they're very small, so they can say, no, we are all good. But as far as the adults are concerned, I think we have always at some point in our lives looked for material protection, right? And the problem with that is when we are looking for that material protection, if we get it, we are happy. But if we don't get it, then instantly our mind says, why is Krishna not reciprocating with me? True? Everybody agrees with this? So this question, why is Krishna not reciprocating with me? To understand this and to address this question, let's first try to understand what Krishna's reciprocation means. So if we see bhakti, it is the crux of bhakti is forming a relationship with the Lord. And now, like any other relationship, we all have so many relations in our life, parents, children, husband, wife, friends, so many relations. Just like in all relationships, we have rules. Sometimes we have written rules, but some relationships work on unsaid rules. But there are no relationships which work without rules. Because if there is a relationship which is without rules, then the possibility of going it in the long run is less. So, just like material relationships also have rules, similarly, our relationship with Krishna also has rules. And it is important, right? And expectation setting, right? Nowadays, like nowadays, I'm seeing newly, people who are getting married, the boy and the girl, they come together, and the first thing this is, let us set some expectations. This is what I will do, this is what you will do, and that is what our boundaries are going to, right? And it is not wrong. Similarly, expectation setting is very important in relationship with Krishna also. If we expect that Krishna is here to solve our material problems, then that is a problem. And so in today's discussion, we will be referring more from chapter 9 of the Bhagavad Gita. So if we see in the 9th chapter, the 31st verse, it is very often quoted about protection from the Lord. If we can all recite, Shipram Bhavati Dharmatma Shashvat Chantim Vigachati Kaunteya Pratijanehi na me bhakta pranashyati. So this last part of the verse is often quoted. Na me bhakta pranashyati. Declare it boldly, Arjuna, that my devotee shall never perish. And this actually gives us a lot of hope, right? But just to understand this verse, let us try to see the context in which this is spoken. So, the first half of this verse declares that the devotee soon becomes righteous and attains lasting peace. Anybody wants to just read the translation? Yes. So my devotee never perishes. That gives us a lot of hope. But what is the first part of the shloka? He quickly becomes righteous and attains lasting peace. Okay, so this is verse number 9.31. Now, if we go on to verse 9.30, the verse just before it. In this verse, it is okay, we can all recite together. अपि चेत् सुदुराचरो भजते मामनन्यः साधुरेव समन्तव्य सम्यग् व्यवस्थितो हि स्म. So meaning of this verse basically is, even if one commits abominable sin or action, if he is engaged in devotional service, he is to be considered saintly. Why? Because he is properly situated in his determination. So, of course, this verse should be taken in the right sense. This doesn't give us a free pass to do wrong things. But, they say old habits die hard. If we think that we are doing something wrong in our bhakti, that is not appropriate. Instead of feeling dejected all the time, we need to understand that Krishna is giving us, if your determination is there, to properly follow the Vedahi Bhakti. If there is a desire to move forward in your relationship with Krishna, then Krishna says you are rightly situated because your determination is right. So, based on these two verses, Krishna's protection is not only from material problems, okay, but Krishna's protection is on protecting our consciousness. Okay, and how he does that? That protection he gives not only by immunizing us from temptations, but also giving us inspiration to get absorbed in his all attractiveness. That is Krishna's mercy on us. So not only worldly problems, solving worldly problems, that Krishna will do, but Krishna's main aim and main mercy to all of us is when he gives us absorption in him. Okay? And that attractiveness, anybody can develop, but ऐसे भगवान का सैंक्शन होना चाहिए. If he gives the sanction, then we can get connected to his all attractiveness. And Krishna is there to do that. Worldly problems he will solve. He anyways solve. But that is not his reciprocation. His main reciprocation is when we can get absorbed in him. Agreed? Everybody feels that? Because absorption in Krishna, is it easy? Is there anybody who feels absorption in Krishna is easy task? Even our 2 hours of japa, 2 hours, big time. 1 round of japa also, that 1 round, if we can be fully absorbed, Srila Prabhupada says 1 mantra, if we say with full absorption and full heart, that is enough for us. But just to chant that 1 mantra, every day we invest our time of 2 hours of japa and reading and deity worship and everything, just for that 1 mantra. This shows that absorption in Krishna is not easy. But Krishna gives us that mercy to feel absorbed in him. Okay? So, what is Krishna's ultimate protection? Krishna's ultimate protection is in revealing his attractiveness and granting us absorption in Him. With this vision, we can see Him reciprocating with us, even amidst distresses, provided we just focus on practicing Bhakti Yoga and gain the absorption. But, okay, Krishna gives us absorption. We all agree to it, but there is a catch here. Anybody can guess what the catch is. Krishna gives us absorption, there is no doubt in it, but there is a catch. We really want it. Good answer. Detachment. More on the lines of detachment. Practice. Faith and conviction. More. That's exactly the word. The catch here is surrender. If we see in Bhagavad Gita 4.11, ये यथा मां प्रपद्यन्ते तांस्तथैव भजाम्यहम् मम वर्त्मानुवर्तन्ते मनुष्य पार्थ सर्वथा. What is Krishna saying? As all surrender unto me, I reward them accordingly. Everybody follows my path in all respects, O son of Pritha. So, for the devotee who is favorably disposed towards the Lord in a relationship of loving service, this relationship is very special and the essence of that devotee's life. What is Krishna consciousness? Krishna consciousness is basically putting Krishna in the center of our lives, right? Now, when you put something in the center of your life, what will you do? Like supposing in the most materialistic form, somebody is in a job and somebody wants to, maybe something is coming up and you know there is a management change or something and you want to make sure that your position is safe. What will you do? Every second of your job, you are going to make sure that you put up a face and you do activities by which the management sees you as an asset to the company, right? Similarly, because that is your focus, that's where your attention is going, focus is going. So by your actions, words, and desires, you are trying to do that. Similarly, in Krishna consciousness, by our actions, words, and desire, if we want to have that relationship with Krishna, if we want to be absorbed in Krishna, then we have to do it. Why do you think, when I first came to Krishna consciousness and I went to a devotee's house and in all the walls, there were different pictures. Like there was Radha Madhav, then there was Radha Gopinath, or different deities were there. And I was thinking all the walls, all rooms, every single wall had a different deity picture. And it really made me curious. Why so many pictures? You already have the altar, but why in every place? And then I asked that Mataji, why have you put so many pictures of Krishna? She said, because if I'm going from my kitchen to the hall, and then in kitchen there is Radha Gopinath, in the hall there is Radha Vrindavan Chandra, then in my consciousness, before other thoughts come, from Gopinath to Vrindavan Chandra, my thoughts dwell. So every single moment there is Krishna's absorption. Similarly, nowadays with technology, a lot of people are able to hear more, right? We have so many classes. Why do we do hearing? To increase our absorption, to increase our remembrance of Krishna. And actually, when by our actions, words, and feelings, we can do things which can bring us closer to Krishna, then true reciprocation between Krishna and the devotee arises. True devotees are always absorbed in Krishna, and Krishna reciprocates with them. Now, Krishna is completely self-satisfied. He is Swarat. He doesn't need anything. But he accepts and takes the service from devotees. Why? What happens? Like he really doesn't need anything. It's for us to understand that service is something that is our need, not Krishna's need. Not at all Krishna's need. Krishna is self-satisfied. But when we render service to Krishna, what happens? Krishna comes in the center of our lives. And that is for our benefit, right? Because then we can be absorbed in Krishna consciousness. And how Krishna reciprocates with each person differently, that is very nicely explained in Srimad Bhagavatam in the 10th canto. Yeah, so this is just the translation of the previous verse. Now, in the 10th canto, it is said that, Krishna and Balram, Krishna was 11 years old when he goes to Mathura. And there in Mathura, on the invitation of Kamsa, right? When he goes there, what happens? When Krishna goes to Mathura, what does he do? He kills Chanur and Mushtika, right? So these are the two wrestlers who are there. So how Krishna reciprocates with everyone's desire, this is beautifully explained in this verse. If we see this verse, basically the setting is, it's the arena and Krishna and Balaram have entered, and now there are 10 different kind of people in that arena. And all those 10 people perceive Krishna in different ways. Like if we see in the first one, the first is Mallanam Ashale. This is the wrestlers. When the wrestlers see Krishna, what do they feel? He's like a thunderbolt. The wrestlers, they feel Krishna like a thunderbolt. Now Krishna is only 11 years old. How can he seem like a thunderbolt? But in their minds, they reciprocated and perceived Krishna as thunderbolt. So I was hearing a class and it was written, the speaker was mentioning that in Bhakti, if our attitude is like a wrestler, I can never be wrong, or I am the most powerful, I know everything, then Krishna will come across as a thunderbolt. Because Krishna can never be soft. If you have wrestler-like feelings towards Krishna, Krishna is thunderbolt. Now the second one is Rinam Naravara. So these are the Rinam Naravara means the ordinary men, the ordinary people who were there in the arena. For those people, Krishna came across as the perfect man. Perfect. There's no flaw in him. Then the third one, Strinam Smaro Murtina. For the Stri, for the ladies there, Krishna came across as a personification of Cupid. When the ladies saw Krishna, they were like, he's Cupid, absolutely beautiful. So can you see, Krishna is that 11-year-old boy. But for the wrestlers, he's thunderbolt. For normal people, he's perfect man. For the ladies, he's Cupid. Then for the Gopana, Swajano, Swajan. For the other Gopas, Krishna felt like one of themselves. Swajan, hamare jaisa. So that is how Krishna came across. Then this one, Satam Shiti Guja. Here, these are the crooked, crooked leaders. For them, Krishna came across as chastiser. If you're doing something wrong, there is fear, right? Somebody will chastise you. So for them, Krishna came across as a chastiser. And then Swapitra Shishu, for the parents and the people who felt Krishna like a child. Krishna came across like a child. So you see so many variations. Krishna is one. Then Mrityur Bhojpate. Who is Bhojpati? Kamsa. So for Kamsa, Krishna came across as Mrityu. Kamsa is scared. Krishna is going to kill me. So for Kamsa, he was Mrityu. Then Virat Avidusha. So these are, it is mentioned, it is for the unintelligent people. Like the normal people, the intelligent people can perceive the form of Krishna as the beautiful two-hand form with a flute and peacock feather and dhoti. But for the people who are unintelligent and they just cannot accept Krishna as a small boy, as a beautiful Navayavan person. They cannot. For them, Krishna is like Virat. Everything is Virat. Somebody said to Prabhupada, we should install Krishna in his Virat form in the altar. Why do we install Krishna with a flute and a peacock feather? This is simple. Let's do the Virat form. And Prabhupada said, okay, we'll install the Virat form, but you just tell me who will change the dress? How will you change the dress? What will you feed Krishna? So that was Prabhupada's answer. So for the unintelligent, Krishna came across as Virat. And then Tattvam Param Yogina, for the yogis or the mystics, for them, they only wanted to see Krishna as absolute truth, nothing else. So for them, he came across as absolute truth. And that this is the last category, the 10th one, for the Vrishni Paradevateti. So for the Vrishnis or the devotees, Krishna came across as the most beautiful deity in which they can perform devotional service. So if we read the purport, this is 10th canto, 43rd verse, 17th chapter. In this shloka, if we read in the purport, it is very nicely given that there are 10 moods. And in these 10 moods or 10 attitudes towards Krishna are described. Like fury, scared, right? Fury is perceived by the wrestlers. Wonder is perceived by the men. Conjugal attraction perceived by the women. Laughter perceived by the cowherds. Chivalry perceived by the kings. Mercy perceived by parents. Terror perceived by Kamsa. Ghastliness perceived by the unintelligent. Peaceful neutrality perceived by the yogis. And loving devotion perceived by the Vrishnis. So, whenever we can have time, we can just read the translation when we go home. Now, if we try to understand, talk a little more on the devotees. So, in the few minutes back, we spoke about verse number 9.31, then we spoke about verse 9.30. Okay. Now, we are going to talk about verse 9.29. In this verse, there is an analogy given between devotees and the Lord. And this is 9.29. Let's recite. Sammoham sarva bhuteshu na me dveshyosti na priya ye bhajanti tumam bhaktya maite teshu chapyaham. I envy no one, nor I am partial to anyone. I am equal to all. But whoever renders service unto me in devotion is a friend, is in me, and I am also a friend to him. So somebody can question, right? Krishna says he is equal to everyone. Then why does he say he is a special friend? It's natural, Baba. You can do charity to everyone, but charity begins at home. So, no matter, you want the best for everyone, but for your own children, you want better than the best. For Krishna, we are all his children. So, obviously, he is partial to all of us. So, anybody who thinks that Krishna is not partial to devotees, that's wrong. Krishna is definitely partial to devotees. Krishna loves us. Krishna is, no, let's not go there. So going forward in the purport, Prabhupada brings about the analogy of gold and diamond. In this purport also, it is written in the same purport, like there is a ring. If there is a diamond ring, which is in gold. So gold looks nice near the diamond and the diamond looks nice near the gold. Mutual admiration, right? Similarly, when the devotees of the Lord glorify the Lord, the Lord in turn wants to glorify the devotees. There is a reciprocal relationship. And why does the Lord come? Of course, the Lord comes only to please his devotees, right? So, and who is the supreme devotee as spoken by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Who is said as the supreme devotee by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Radharani and the gopis. Yes. So pure devotees, they don't want anything from the Lord. Reciprocation is there, but pure devotees don't desire anything from the Lord. Absolutely nothing. There is continuous transcendental competition between the Lord and his devotees, and by such reciprocation of service and acknowledgement. So it is said that Radharani and the gopis, they love Krishna so much that Krishna says that there is nothing that I can do in front of your devotion. You should be happy with your own activities. Now, if you see this, this is like surrender. The Lord Himself is surrendering. मैं कुछ नहीं दे सकता, आपने मुझे इतना प्यार दिया है, आपके प्यार के आगे मैं आपको कुछ भी नहीं दे सकता. That is one way of looking at it. But if somebody has that feeling, imagine his love for that person. If somebody is saying that, how many of us can say that to somebody? I cannot give you anything. I don't know, at least I don't have anybody in my life who I can say I cannot give you anything. The Lord says that because that is his love towards Srimati Radharani and the gopis. See, Krishna cannot be controlled by anyone. But who can control Krishna? Radharani, the gopis. Krishna got bound by Mother Yashoda. We casually say this Damodar Leela so easily. But ask the people who cannot comprehend Krishna beyond the Virat Roop. Tell them something like Krishna got bound by a lady who was not very young and who was, she didn't have any special powers and she was running behind with a stick and the Lord got bound. Will they understand? They understand. Will we understand if we see Krishna in that sense? But Krishna gets bound. Why? Because it is the love of Mother Yashoda and all the devotees. Krishna shows his four-handed form to Bhishma Dev. Why? Because he wanted to see it. Krishna shows his Virat Roop to Arjuna because he asked for it. So Krishna feels happy to fulfill the desires of devotees. At the same time, devotees' desires are purely Krishna conscious. They are not material desires at all. Actually, to understand Gopi Bhav is not something very easy. It's actually very high state because Gopi's reciprocation towards Krishna is unfathomable. It's not something that we can, imagine or comprehend. So, just to understand that, let's sing this verse. Atati bhavan ahanikanam truti yugayate tvamavashyatam kutila kuntalam shrimukam chate jado dikshatam pakshmakradrisham. This is from Gopi Geet. And when I read this verse, I was like, I cannot, I really cannot say what good fortune I have that I am in this movement. I have been blessed by Prabhupada to be a part of this movement. So if we see Atati Yad Bhavan Ahani Kananam. So Atati means Atati means wander, wander. So when the sun rises, what Krishna does, he goes in the morning to take care of the cows. So Krishna is gone, yes. Atati yad bhavan ahani kananan. Kananan means forest. So he goes to the forest to take care of the cows. And then truti yugayate tvamapashyatam. Truti means fraction of a second. And Srila Prabhupada has shown, has given the meaning of truti. If you take a second and divide it into 1700 parts, one part is truti. And gopis are saying that one part of that second feels like millennium to us when you are gone. I don't know anybody who can say like this. You can say, I cannot live without you. All of that can be said. But can anybody say, for a truty, for one part of 1700th part of the second, feels like a millennium to me. These are what gopis love towards Krishna, and they are saying. And then Krishna comes back and Kutila Kuntalam, that means his curly locks and his face, which has become dusty by the hoofs of the cows, it's looking so pretty. But what happens? We can't see. Why we can't see? Jadodikshatam Pakshmakritrisham. Because this foolish creator, Brahmaji, has made eyelids. And every time we blink those eyelids, that time we cannot see Krishna. If we just think and meditate on this verse, we can understand the love of gopis. And that is what is Gopi Bhav. And we are so blessed that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has taught us that to serve Krishna, we have to become servant of servant of servant of gopis. Gopi Pad Kamleor, Das, 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 and Das. So, yeah, when you go off to the forest during the day, a tiny fraction of a second becomes like a millennium for us because we cannot see you. And even when we can eagerly look upon your beautiful face, so lovely with this adornment of curly locks, our pleasure is hindered by our eyelids, which were fashioned by the foolish creator. Wow. Now, let us see a little more of, so the main question can be, so if somebody is, offering something or is doing some devotional service to Krishna, do they get reciprocation? Naturally, the question should come, right? So, we all know this famous verse, Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam, Yo me bhaktya prayachati, tadaham bhakti upaharatam, ashnami prayatatmana. Here, what is Krishna saying? If one offers me with, oh, I didn't move that. If one offers me with love and devotion, a leaf, a flower, a fruit, or water, I will accept it. So obviously the question should come. So everybody, Krishna accepts it, then does he reciprocate? Right? Naturally the question should come. So let us see some examples. Okay. So what is the first thing in that shloka? Patram. Okay, Patram. So, any guesses what this picture is about? You said something to Kolavecha Sridhar, yes. This is the picture of Kolavecha Sridhar. And Kolavecha Sridhar, most of us already know, but Kolavecha Sridhar was the banana seller in Chaitanya Leela. And who was he in Krishna Leela? Anybody remembers? Who was Kolavecha Sridhar in Krishna Leela? Say. No. He was one of the Gopas and his name was Kusum Sava. And he becomes Kolavecha Sridhar. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would only eat on the banana, he would have his lunch only on the banana leaves given by Kolavecha Sridhar. We all know about the bananas, right? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would run and snatch the bananas and spend hours and hours negotiating. This is too much, this is too less. All that unnecessary drama Mahaprabhu used to do. But he would only have his lunch on the banana leaves by Kolavecha Sridhar. And everything that was put on those banana leaves tasted like nectar. So Mahaprabhu said, I want to give you liberation. And what does Kolavecha Sridhar say? I don't want. I only want that the remembrance of that Brahmana who used to come and fight with me for 1 pice, 2 pice, remain forever fresh in my heart and mind. So that was the reciprocation of Patram by the Lord. Now let's see. Next one. Pushpa. Obvious, right? This is Gajendra. Now when Gajendra offered this, and we all know the story, at his end moments when that crocodile was about to devour Gajendra, when Gajendra says the Gajendra Moksham prayers and he offers that one flower, with that one flower, Gajendra is actually offering his heart. And what does Lord Vishnu do? Immediately. Immediately the Lord comes and grants him Vaikuntha. So that was the reciprocation through flower. So that one gesture of Gajendra's offering one little flower with love and devotion, Supreme Lord descended from the spiritual world, rescued Gajendra from the crocodile, and sent Gajendra to the Vaikuntha, the spiritual world. Phalam. This morning only His Grace Devati Prabhu was mentioning this about the fruit seller. Phal. भगवान को इतने सारे फल दिए इतने से दानों के बदले में, and what she got back was materially a lot, but that is not the point. What she got back materially, she was not interested in that. She use it or not use it, that's secondary. But the reciprocation of the Lord and the absorption that she got in the Lord after she came back, that is something to meditate on. And that is how the Lord reciprocated by giving this fruit seller full absorption in him. So this pastime confirms that when something is offered to Krishna with love and devotion, Krishna will reciprocate many millions of times over, both materially and spiritually. And last one, Toyam. Guesses? Muni Satyavrat. So, how is Bhishma Pitama here? So, this is Satyavrat Muni, King Satyavrat, not Satyavrat. King Satyavrat. He was offering oblations to the Lord with, a pound full of water, and Lord takes incarnation as Matsya Avatar, comes and eventually saves him, and then saves all the rishis and all the herbs and the plants and gives him knowledge. And actually in 4.1 the shloka comes, right? Anybody remembers 4.1? Why I am saying 4.1? Because King Satyavrat in his next life he becomes Devaswat Manu. So nobody remembers 4.1? Imam vivasvate yogam proktavanaham apyayam vivaswan manavipraha manur ikshapakave bravit. Yes, so he comes and he instructs this imperishable knowledge from sun god to Manu. It's given in our Bhagavad Gita. So now Toyam actually means water, but Prabhupada says Toyam can also mean other liquids. So we offer water to the Lord, but there are more personalities who offered other liquid. Everybody knows this. Huh? Surabhi milk तो अच्छा है, अलग बता थोड़ा, different. This was good milk, now bad milk. Putna, right? So she comes and look at the Lord's magnanimity. This is another thing. I mean, if somebody's heart doesn't melt on hearing this shloka, na, I don't think there is anybody whose heart will not melt on hearing this shloka. Let's recite. Aho vakiyam stanakalukutam jingham savyayadavayada sadvi devhe gatim dhatriuchitam tatonyam Kamba dayalu sharanam vrajema. Alas, how shall I take shelter of one more merciful than he who granted the position of mother to a she demon Putana although she was unfaithful, and she prepared deadly poison to be sucked from her breast. So she offered poisonous milk to Krishna. And how does Krishna reciprocate? By giving her the position of mother in the spiritual world. So these are the examples of some things that were offered to Krishna, right? Now, how about something that is not offered to Krishna, but still Krishna reciprocates? Any guesses? More? Bali Maharaj, Prabhuji, Bali Maharaj himself goes, na? He says, take my head. It's not offered, but Krishna himself takes and reciprocates, even before the offering is done. Draupadi in Akshay Patra is the next category. Just wait. You already answered that one. This is Brahman is correct. Okay, I'll say the word Vipra. Sudama. Vipra Sudama. He doesn't offer, but Krishna himself snatches the offering, right? So unoffered offering Krishna takes. And what Krishna gives, again, that is, Sudama already had so much faith and so much absorption in Krishna. Materially, Krishna gave whatever he had to give. But spiritually, Krishna gave way beyond to Sudama. And now coming to what Prabhuji answered. What did you say, Prabhuji? Draupadi in Akshay Patra, right? So that one is, I thought I just put it like Krishna himself makes the offering, right? Because what happens is when Akshay Patra is given, and we all know the story of how Durvasa Muni comes and Draupadi has the Akshay Patra and she has finished her prasad and there's nothing left in the Akshay Patra, and Rishi Durvasa has come with his whole entourage of servants and they go to the river and they want to come and honor prasad, but there is nothing. And Draupadi remembers Krishna and calls out for Krishna, and Krishna comes. And first thing Krishna says is, I'm hungry, give me food. And Draupadi said, I called you to save me from this situation. Now you want yourself also food. I don't have anything. This pot is empty. And Krishna, so there is nothing. Draupadi says, there is nothing. And Krishna says, no, look again, Draupadi, there must be something. And this time when Draupadi looks, she finds one leaf of spinach, right? Or somewhere I read one leaf of spinach, somewhere I read one grain of rice. So I'm also doubtful of that, but there was something, only one food stuff. And Krishna takes the pot and Krishna eats it. So basically there was nothing. So Krishna provided the offering and then Krishna himself ate the offering. And when Krishna ate the offering, what happens? Yatha tarunisheshanena tripyanti tatskanda bhujo pashakha pranopaharajyatendriyana tathaiva sarva harinam achyutejya. So when Krishna is satisfied, just like when we water the root of the tree, we don't need to water the leaves or the branches, or when we eat prasad, the stomach feels. Jai Shri Radha Gopi Jangal Bhagwan ki Jai. Shri Nitai Patipadan Godhari ki Jai. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. So just like when we eat prasad, it goes into the tummy, but it gives energy to all the limbs of the body. Similarly, when Krishna is satisfied, everybody else is satisfied. And in one sense, Krishna showed that because when he ate, Rishi Durvasa and all his entourage felt full and they did not come, and Draupadi and Pandavas were saved. So these are some examples. Now, if we see in our lives also, I'm almost coming to the end. Good job. So in this way, if we reflect on our own lives also, in our own lives, Krishna has reciprocated in unlimited ways. I'll just share something. Yesterday, something happened in my house, and somebody made a comment that by the sheer luck, sheer fate of luck, this thing worked out. And then immediately it was a teaching moment, and I said, no, 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 nothing happens by luck or by chance in devotee's life. Everything is orchestrated. So, with that being said, let's see how Krishna has reciprocated in our own lives. His chosen representatives, our Diksha Guru, Shiksha Guru, all the devotees, our parents, right? We never knew. We all know the shloka that we have been wandering up and down in all the planetary systems, taking birth left and right, sometimes going up, sometimes going down. But by the mercy of Guru and Krishna, in this life, we have been given a seed of bhakti. That is reciprocation by the Lord, right? Do you think it's easy to get a guru? It's easy to get bhakti. It's easy to get Krishna's name. It's easy to get Prabhupada. It's easy to get prasad. No, definitely not. Then Vedic literatures. Being able to read Srimad Bhagavatam, being able to hear Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, Chaitanya Charitamrita, Ramayana, all these Vedic literatures. Isn't that the reciprocation of the Lord? Krishna himself said, right? Krishna swadhamupagati dharma jnana adibhisa kalam nashta drishamesha puranarko dhunodita. That means Krishna says, in this Kali-yuga, when everybody is blinded, I myself come as Srimad Bhagavatam to give knowledge to all the souls. So the Vedic literature that is there for all of us. His Archa Vigraha form. Now his Archa Vigraha form, a whole class can be given on that only. Then Paramatma in our heart reciprocates so many times, right? What about the temple? Reciprocation of the Lord, that we have a temple. The holy dham, where we can go and feel his presence more and more. And of course, prasad, where Krishna's Sakshat Darshan is prasad, Prabhu ka Sakshat Darshan, which we are going to have very soon. So, Archa Vigraha form. I had two more pastimes to share, but let's see. So, Sakshi Gopal's story everybody knows. So, can I skip it? Okay. Then, in the bottom, Jagannath story. Can we, is it okay if I take 2 minutes to share Jagannath story? Yeah. So, today morning, Prabhuji covered one Jagannath story of, who was it? What was the name? Raghu. Madhav Das, the jackfruit story. No? So I'll share the Bandhu Mohanty story. So Bandhu Mohanty was a person, he was living in Jajpur in Orissa. And he was a poor person. He had two daughters and one son. And self-content, and he used to have his living on going door to door for bhiksha. Now, one time there was a drought in Orissa and there was no food for him. So, Bandhu Mohanty's wife says, don't you have a relative where we can go and at least stay for some time? Children are crying, there's no food. So, Bandhu Mohanty says, I don't have a relative, but I have a friend. He lives in Sri Kshetrapuri in Puri Dham. So, we'll go there. So, the wife says, okay, let's go. At least my children will get something to eat. And Bandhu Mohanty is happy, at least he'll get to take darshan of Lord Jagannath. So they go and then they arrive at the Simhadwar, and there, lot of pandas are standing and nobody is allowed entry. Now children are crying, they are hungry, but he's not allowed entrance into Jagannath Puri. So he takes darshan of Patit Pavan Jagannath and goes near that. There's a Peja Nala in Jagannath Puri where all the starch from Jagannath's offerings, food that is made, it goes in that, and all the cows drink that. So they go near that, and the wife is saying, it's evening, let's go to your friend's house. Why are we staying here? So Bandhu Mohanty says, there are a lot of people, lot of relatives and lot of visitors in my friend's house today. We cannot go, we'll go tomorrow. Well, let's just drink this starch. And today let's just sleep here, we'll see tomorrow. So Bandhu Mohanty's wife says, okay, and the children drink this and they sleep. At least that day's hunger is gone. But before sleeping, Bandhu Mohanty says, my Lord, I'm so sinful that I've come to you and I cannot even take your darshan. How unfortunate I am. And now, thinking like that, Bandhu Mohanty goes to sleep. Now, Jagannath is Jagannath. He cannot sleep. Anyways, he doesn't sleep. But his devotee is not sleeping because of hunger. So Jagannath becomes very restless and he goes into the storeroom. And in that storeroom, he picks up one of the golden plates. And in that plates, he puts all the foodstuffs, mithai and all the nice items. And he comes out in the form of a Brahmana. And he calls out, Bandhu Mohanty, come here, I have got prasad for you. So Bandhu Mohanty thinks, here nobody knows me. He must be calling somebody else, it's okay. So he tries to go back to sleep again. Then the Lord calls out, Bandhu Mohanty from Jajpur, come here, there is prasad for you. So Bandhu Mohanty says, really? And he goes and, Lord is inconceivable. Normally you would go and ask, who are you, what are you, why are you coming? Before he could give the plate and said, tomorrow I'll make all arrangements for you, and he vanishes. So now Bandhu Mohanty brings the plate, the children eat, the wife eat, and then Bandhu Mohanty again goes back to Simhadwara to give that plate back. And so there he tries to open the door is closed. So he doesn't know what to do. He brings the plate back and wraps it in a cloth and says, tomorrow morning I'll return. And he goes to sleep. Now morning when the pujari and everybody come, they see a golden plate is missing. And obviously it's Jagannath's plate, so there will be commotion. So a commotion happens and somebody says there is one family living there nearby and we saw the plate there. So they catch hold of Bandhu Mohanty, beat him up, and both the wife and he says, this is what happened. A Brahmana came and gave, we didn't steal anything. And because nobody was opening the door, we thought tomorrow morning we'll give the plate back. Why are you beating us? Nobody listens, takes him, puts him in the prison. And now Bandhu Mohanty is in the prison. The family is anyways in a lot of distress. And so now Jagannath, think of Jagannath. Jagannath is feeling this person came to me, considering me his only friend, and this is the treatment he gets. So Jagannath feels very sad, and Jagannath goes in the dream of the king. And there Jagannath says, if somebody comes to your house, do you let them go without eating? And I gave him food in my plate. What is your problem? What is your problem, king? Go now and relieve the Bandhu Mohanty and take care of him. So the king just wakes up and he comes and he, takes the Bandhu Mohanty out of the prison and puts a turban on Bandhu Mohanty's head and reciprocates with a lot of honor and respect. That is how Jagannath Ji reciprocated with Bandhu Mohanty. And then Bandhu Mohanty stays near Jagannath Puri for generations to come, serving Lord Jagannath. Jagannath Bhagwan ki. Now this last picture I'll share and we'll end here. So if you see, this is Lord Vishnu in lying form. So I think I forgot the name, but not Ranganath Prabhu. Okay, the temple name is Sarangapani. This is a temple in South India. And here the Lord is... No, the name was something with K, Prabhu. I forgot the name, but the temple name is Sarangapani, and here the Lord is in a lying form, and a person comes to offer oblations to the Lord and wants to circumambulate the Lord. But when he tries to go inside, unfortunately, the people say you are not a Brahmana and you cannot go. So this person feels very sad and he goes out. Now when he goes out, he's feeling very sad, but his motive was to offer circumambulation to the Lord. So what he does, he starts offering circumambulation to the Lord. And now Lord Vishnu, who's inside, the pujaris see that the deity is turning. The pujaris are like, why is the deity suddenly turned? And the deity was turning because that person was offering circumambulations to the Lord. So to face the person, the Lord inside had started turning. And the people realized and called that person inside and begged forgiveness. So there are unlimited, such stories where the Lord reciprocates. These are just some examples. But the biggest reciprocation, of course, I didn't talk about Radha Gopijan Vallabh because I thought some of the devotees in the audience can speak about their reciprocations from Radha Gopijan Vallabh. So we'll see how much time is there and if everybody has the desire. But the biggest reciprocation that I feel that we all have access to the Lord is the holy name. Because the Lord is present in His holy name. Krishna is not different from His holy name. What more can we say that just by saying Krishna, Krishna comes? How much more can somebody reciprocate? And if we just can, internalize and realize this, if I can internalize and realize this point that the holy name is the highest reciprocation of the Lord, then my life will be successful. So I pray for your blessings that, please pray for me that I'm able to realize this and chant the Lord's name with a lot of love and devotion. With that being said, I'll end the class. Oh my God, I'm really so happy I ended at 2:50. So thank you so much for your patient audience. Any corrections, feedback, questions, reciprocations of Radha Gopijan Vallabh that anybody wants to share? Yes, Prabhu. Kumbhakonam. Kumbhakonam. Yes, I was saying KK, something I forgot the name. Kumbhakonam. Yeah. Please share, Prabhuji's, Mataji's, please share some reciprocation of the Ravi. Actually, I know you don't want to share, but if there is something that anybody would like to share, it will be very happy. The children, would you like to share some reciprocation by the Lord sometime in your life? Actually, this morning only, I'll share something very, very funny. This morning I was starting my car and my Prabhu was starting and the car did not start. And it was almost 11:45 and 12 o'clock I have to take Sunday school. And the car is not starting and I just casually walked out and I see the car is not starting and my Prabhu says, go. So our neighbor, Rohit Prabhuji, he was driving and my Prabhu said, he's going to temple, you go. So I was like, even before asking, the Lord reciprocates. It was unbelievable. That exact second, yeah. So, okay, I think we'll see the reciprocation of the Lord in the form of prasad now. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Bhagavad Gita ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Bhaktivinoda ki jai. Please forgive me if I spoke anything that was improper as your humble son. Hare Krishna.
We missed to announce one sponsor. So Naresh Harkar Prabhu and Shalini Rajshekhar Mataji, they are sponsoring for their daughter Neha's birthday. They are in Texas, so they are not available here. So we wanted to announce their name. Can we chant one time Hare Krishna Mahamantra for the special blessings of this amazing family? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. I will go upstairs first.
Somebody else. Thank you, Mataji.